Hi there, welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace. I do hope you're well. Thanks for making time for us. Now, today's show is a special one. We're celebrating dads as Father's Day is tomorrow. And I have a quote that pretty much sums up the show by Max Lucado. It says, "My father didn't do anything unusual. He did what dads are supposed to do. Be there." Because today we're talking about present fatherhood. Our guest today is phenomenal man, so stay right there. And let's begin the show. And special thanks, of course, to our beautiful location here in Arboretum. This is Radisson Blu.
Hi, and as we celebrate Father's Day tomorrow, I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. My journey as a father has been amazing. Being a present father is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I encourage you all fathers to try as much as possible. I know it is hectic, it is tiring, but be intentional in the lives of your kids. It will pay off, I tell you. Otherwise, I wish you all a happy Father's Day. Remember, families thrive when fathers are present.
Hi there, welcome to Unscripted. As always, thank you so much for making time for us. Like I mentioned before, this is our Father's Day episode, and with me is Jeff. Jeff, karibu. Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much, Grace.
It's a
I've been looking forward.
You have been?
Yeah.
So have I. I saw your page online about present fatherhood, and I think that is such an important conversation. This generation, the future generation, we need more present fathers. So thank you for taking up the mantle and being a present dad. Tell me how that started for you, even before we go back to your early days. What made you decide to talk about present fatherhood?
The journey started for me when the obvious reason, of course, is growing up without a father. Yeah, my dad passed on early, so that inspired me to want to be present. Actually, I made an intentional decision, I think when I was 12.
Okay.
That
when you were that young?
Yeah,
wow.
I knew the kind of father I wanted to be. And then that made me to be more intentional each and every day, wanting to make those steps that will lead me to be present in the lives of my kids. The other thing I think was just what was going on in my environment, the people that I observed. Right. You know, I didn't like
what you were seeing.
Yeah, I didn't like what I was seeing, and therefore I wanted to do better for my kids. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And of course, another major thing that also inspired me was to demystify gender roles, because I felt that women were being more or less overburdened by the idea of raising kids. Okay. And I felt like fathers should be equal parties. They are co-drivers, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you. So before we get into all those details, we can go back to the very beginning. I just called you. Hi, Jeff. People who don't know you, who is Jeff and what do you do? What do you love? What would you like people at home to know you for?
So my name is Jeff Dindi. Yeah, I'm a father of two lovely boys,
wow.
Turning 4 and then turning 3. Good. Yeah, quick succession.
I can see.
Yes, I'm a YouTuber for change. Okay. I use my content to demystify gender roles, encourage fathers to be present. I'm also a writer. I have a blog called presentfatherhood.org that is about creating content around parenting, fatherhood, health, men's health, you know, both mental health and, you know, physical health.
I see.
Yeah, so
that's who you are.
Yeah, that's more, and I'm also a model. Yeah, lifestyle model.
I see.
Yeah, me and my family and my kids. Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean by lifetime model?
Lifestyle
model.
Yeah,
got it. Model. Tell me about how you grew up. What happened to your parents or your father, specifically?
Wow. I lost my parents, both of them, when I was 12. And that is in the year 2002. My mom was the first one to pass on. And then my dad passed on the next year immediately. And I later on came to learn that they had HIV and AIDS. Yeah, so that is how I got to lose them. You know.
How did that affect you at that young age? Not sort of literally being an orphan at 12 years old.
Practically, I think I grew up alone. I raised myself, kind of, because my
Do you have siblings?
I have one sibling who was also taken away by my mom's side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think they felt with everything that was going on, there was just too much for my mom to handle. So, but again, they needed somebody to be there. You know, again, when all your kids are taken away and you're by yourself, it's also not so good. So I was the eldest, and they decided, hey, you're going to remain. But my dad at that time got into ministry. He was a pastor.
Okay.
And I think later on came to realize this, that because of the stigma that is around that time, he immersed himself thoroughly into ministry, and he would go for crusades, and therefore that left me alone. My mom, on the other hand, was constantly sick. So also she was also admitted. And therefore we are left with my grandmother, and my grandmother, the relationship between her and my mom wasn't very good, because they wanted somebody else for my dad. So the relationship was already sour. So I practically raised myself.
How was that for you?
Oh, it was.
From what you can remember, that experience.
It was a tough life.
You sure?
Yeah, it was really tough life. I remember I was sexually molested when I was around 9 by my uncle.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it was, of course, in that all mix of no parent.
Exactly.
You know, there is anger.
There's no one watching over you.
You know, we used food, of course. You know, and lured me with food. And at that time, I really didn't understand what he was doing. This is something that I later, when I was recalling, I was like, that is what was happening. You know, I didn't really know. So yeah, that went by, and I got to go into another house by myself, living on my own, going to school, coming back, cooking by myself.
How old are you?
I'm like, I grew too fast. I think I was 8,
No
7.
way. By yourself?
Yes, I would go to school, come back home, go and get skuma wiki, cut, cook, go back to school, come back home, and that was my life, you know, growing up until when they both passed on. You know, I guess it was blessing in disguise, because then now I was taken in by my mom's side.
I see.
And now I went to boarding school. And my life was in boarding school, which was quite a different life again.
Okay. Was that better?
Materially better.
Okay.
Emotionally,
it had its struggles, but
emotionally not. You know, because there was also a different phase of life, because I was a kid who had lost his parents. I was mourning. I loved my mom thoroughly, so I would cry a lot. And my aunt, on the other hand, was the strict person. You know, go to school, you know, finish, get a job, and all that stuff. So it was quite challenging as well. Things were tough. Even when my parents were around, things were very tough. But my mom was a very prayerful person, and she was a very fun person. Yeah. So we would go hungry without food, but we were happy. Aww. We were so happy. So, and I felt that I was happy because my mom was around.
I see.
The fact that she was just around me and constantly telling us good stories meant everything. And I said, wow. So it is not all about the material things that we have that makes somebody happy. It's actually the presence and the joy that the parents, and the security that the parents gives when they're around.
That's true.
So that is what made me to make that intentional decision to want to be there.
I like that. I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah.
When did you become a father?
When I was in campus.
Aha. Take us back to that moment.
Oh, wow. So there's this girl that I met when I was in Form 2, and we liked each other. I liked her. I thought she was quite a go-getter, you know, a powerful woman. And I liked her. It was in our hostel. She was cooking mandazi, and I looked around. I was like, oh, wow. And then we shared moments, and we shared ideas that what we want to do. So from that moment, I knew that even if you're not going to date in the future, we're going to be business partners. That is what I knew.
So that's what you were attracted to?
Yes. Fourth year is when we realized that, she started feeling funny. And I was like, okay, bring the test. And she went and bought the test, and we did the test together. And
were you nervous? What was your response when you realized that you're going to be a father?
It was a mixture of being nervous and being like excited, you know.
So you were excited?
Yes.
Regardless of the timing of it?
Yeah, I was, because I knew that this is the lady that I wanted to be with long term. you know. And of course, also that conviction that I've always had of wanting to be there in the life of my kids also gave me the courage, I guess. But I was nervous because when I thought about home and the kind of guardian that I have, and the kind of expectations that they have on me that I need to finish, get a job, get a house, get a good car, then bring mommy.
And then bring
mommy, can you approve? So this was not going to follow that protocol, and therefore that scared me a bit. But on the other hand, I was like, I'm going to finish, I'm going to be an adult, so it is my life. So we have to figure it out. The best thing is that I have somebody that we can figure it out with together.
Great. So what is the next step? How did the family receive the news?
My wife now was the first one who broke the news to the parents. The parents are quite liberal. They're quite open-minded. Mine, on the other hand, she took time to load. You know, I was here because there's a lady that she knew before who had kind of not really introduced but said that there's a lady. So when I brought the news home, she thought that was the one. Then now when I was telling her that it is another one, I think she got confused. And then coupled with the news that I'm going to be a dad, also got too confusing for her.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So when baby came, how did your life change?
My life changed. It really did. Because from the onset, I started becoming very, very, very outgoing. I wanted to work hard to fend for this child. I didn't have a job. My wife luckily got work at that time. So I was hustling, going out, would come back late. I was rubbing shoulder with her because she felt I should just relax, wait until the baby is born. Is when we kind of ascertain that it is mine. But me, I was on the road. I hit the road immediately, you know, and that brought a lot of friction. So, but I remember
friction between the two of you.
Between me and my mom, my aunt, my aunt. But on the other side, I thank God because on her side, things I was received well because I remember just 1 month into the pregnancy, I went by myself to their home.
Took responsibility.
Yes, and met mom and the dad and said, you know, I'm the guy and I'm going to take responsibility, and not just as a co-parent or something, but even to marry her. Yeah, and that, I think, built our relationship from there on.
Great.
It has been good up to date.
As we finish this part, what would you tell a young man watching who finds themselves in a position like you, and it's either flee or they're afraid and don't know what to do? What would you tell them? I like the courage you had.
It never stays for too long. You know, don't make hasty decisions based on now. You know, look at the long term. You might look at your situation at this moment and say, I don't have a job, or my family might not take it well.
I'm not
but
ready.
I'm not ready, but it all comes to pass. 2, you're an adult. You know, you can figure it out.
That's true.
And the best thing, figure it out with her. Because she's an equal party as you.
Don't try figure it out by yourself.
Don't try figure it out by yourself. At least try figure it out with her. And I'm sure she will appreciate it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that tip. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Tell us.
I don't know whether I've never been a CEO before.
Okay.
But maybe the CEO work is as stressful, but that job is stressful.
Yeah, being a full-time parent is not easy.
It is hard. It is hard, and I said, wow. I remember the first day that I was left at home, and my wife had prepared a number of things. She had prepared the food, she had prepared the milk. You know, she left when a number of things were taken care of.
There was a whole timetable for you.
Yeah. She had even given me a timetable at this time.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, Grace, it was one of my toughest days.
You didn't follow that timetable.
Yes, that is one. I tried to, but it wasn't easy. Mentally, I was tired. I remember at 3, I would look at my clock and be like, is she around? Is she coming? When I hear the gate is shaking, is she here? You know, it was tough.
It was tough.
And when she came and I saw her coming, I was so relieved. I was like, finally. But one day it became 2, and became 3, and before I knew it, I loved it.
Wow.
You know, I loved the job. And
what did you love most about it?
the bond that I created with my son. And I think they normally say that women are born naturals, but I feel like everybody can be a natural.
That's true.
You just need to spend more time with your kid, you know, and learn. In fact, not every this thing does not come naturally as they speak.
Even not for all women.
Even, yeah. Exactly.
You have to learn.
So you have to keep on doing it and learn it, and before you know it, you are actually a natural. You know?
That's true.
And that is what happened for me. And I said, wow, it opened my eyes. And I was like, this is something that men need to embrace. You know, men need to help more. Because I can only imagine a woman coming back and she's because my wife used to come from work and she was also tired. Of course. But here I am, I'm also extremely tired, and I'm expecting more or less for her to take over.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And here is a woman who normally comes after work, and she's the one who still has to take care of the baby. I can only imagine the amount of turmoil that they go through. So that is what inspired me to want to get men to be more involved. Okay. You know, and especially on house chores.
Tell me about that, the mystifying gender roles. What did you do different?
Taking care of a kid and looking after the home, they're 2 different jobs.
Greatly.
That is what I realized. I realized that just being with the child alone is enough work.
That's true.
So if you plus it with house chores, now it is double tragedy. To say the least.
It's a handful, that's true.
So if you get somebody who can come in and do the house chores, because again, house chores have been left, quote unquote, that is a woman's work, you know. And if you are living in a house and you're the both of you and you don't have a house help, for example, somebody to help you, it is the 2 of you to figure out how do we help. And because I had gone through that experience and known how tiresome it is, it helped me. It was good for me to be able now to sit with her and say, okay, I understand that how tired you get, and you also know how tiring this is. So how can we? I was open. I was like, this is not a big deal, you know. So whatever it is, my wife is very lousy with the laundry. Okay. I also don't like it. Okay. But now it was about how do we distribute these roles. Okay. You know, it didn't matter who was going to cook. Didn't matter who was doing the floor. Nice. Didn't matter who was washing the clothes. I was open to doing anything and anything at any time. Wow. 2, unlike the way sometimes men quarrel, you come back home and you find the house is in a mess and all you do is, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah. I was so understanding. I was like, whether it is upside down, let it be. The baby's fine. The baby's fine. That's what's important. He's healthy, he's good, he's happy. Exactly. He's fed. That's true. You know, so I also became open to that, which men again need to be open. You know, sometimes men just come and you're stressed and you just want a neat house. Exactly. You're forgetting that there was a tiresome day. That's true. You know. Thank you for saying it. Yeah, for us. I hope the men are hearing and listening. There was a really tiresome day. So that is one thing that also really inspired me to get into the space and to let men know that through my example, that's how I even started my YouTube channel, by actually now doing it and feeding. There's a video where I'm feeding my baby, I'm washing him, so that men can feel and know that, you know what, it doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't take your manhood away from you. Yes, if anything, it is your child. That's true. And it is remarkable, the bond that you will create with that boy. And unlike just coming home and carrying sweets and giving the boy and the boy being happy, it goes beyond that. So let's talk about those 2 benefits. Looking back today, your firstborn you said going to 4. Yes, going to 4. So you've been doing this for about 3 years. Yeah. If you look at your relationship now with your son, tell us about the benefits. And also in your marriage, how has this impacted how you and your wife relate? Because I can imagine it's fireworks, so I imagine. One thing that this is a disclaimer, it is not easy. You have to be very intentional. That's true. And not just intentional for one day, every day. That's true. You have to be intentional. And I'm telling you, I've seen tremendous impact. My boys, especially Jordan, who is my eldest, the bond is is so much.
Yeah.
Like I left him.
Are you the first one he looks for when he wants something?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, he's the first. In fact, I think we've been both so involved that sometimes he doesn't know who to call. Mommy, daddy, and he's referring to me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And the next thing is that it has also helped us learn our kids. Kids, you can never learn kids by just being away.
That's true.
You have to constantly spend time with. We discuss our kids up to late in the night.
Oh, good.
2, 3, just discussing their personality because they are so different.
Okay.
And this is something that you can never know if you don't spend time with them.
That's true.
You know, we have been able to understand their love languages,
Good.
been
Already,
able to understand
nice.
their mood swings.
It's amazing. I like the fact that you've been sharing this on your YouTube channel and your blog.
Yes.
What has been the feedback from the men who have tuned in?
So the feedback has been both positive and negative.
Really? What's been the negative feedback?
The negative feedback has been like, you know, unatuchomea. You know,
Really?
like some men feel like, you know, I've been sat on, you know, like they normally say.
Yes, amekaliwa.
Yeah, amekaliwa, and amongst many other things, that is not our culture, you know. A man is supposed to be, quote unquote, domineering. Like you're supposed to be forceful and you're supposed just to be served. You're not supposed to
to do the serving.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do the serving,
Yeah.
you know. So I've received that a lot from people.
And what can you tell men who says, you know, stuff like that? What can you tell them today?
I can tell them
from your experience and your conviction.
I can tell them that, you know what, as they can see, there's nothing that has changed. You know, if anything, my family is much happier. You know, my wife is happy, my boys are extremely happy, you know, and I know them more than ever.
Yeah.
You know, and your kids are your investment.
That's true.
You can lose so many things, but your kids are the most painful thing if you lose. So invest in them, be there for them, and forget the naysayers.
Thank you for that. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's continue with this conversation as we celebrate Fathers today. Thank you, Jeff, for coming to share your story with us. And like I said, being a present father is so important, regardless of whether you have a son or a daughter. Like, we all need that present father in our lives. And for you, you actually chose to be, or as a family, you all decided you would be a stay-at-home father. We've talked about the highs, because you get to bond with your child, you get to know your child better than anyone. But are there low moments that you experienced or have experienced during this time?
Yeah, yeah, there are definitely low moments.
What would happen?
And one of those low moments is that because of the nature of how stressful taking care of kids can be, you sometimes get really stressed and even depressed. And when you get depressed, again, you are not now of benefit to the kids.
That's true.
And that is something that you really need to be very watchful over, you know, because now you can be shouting, or you can, you know,
and just snap at your kids.
Yeah, you can snap at your kids. That's so true. It's also very important to have an outlet, and to also have somewhere that, you know, take a break. Yeah. It's also important to take a break. Like, this is something that you can speak with your spouse about, and I'm overwhelmed. And I remember my wife, I thank her for this, because constantly, every time she came back from home, she would ask me, how are you feeling?
Oh, good.
Are you feeling overwhelmed?
Good.
You know, and sometimes I will not even understand how I'm feeling, but she will keep on asking, until I was like, I can't explain how I'm feeling. But I thank her, because through that I was able to sometimes just talk. And through talking, I was able to vent out and say, I'm tired of this job, you know. And that really helped.
That's why they say it takes a village.
Yeah.
It does. So did you have a support system? Do you have a support system? Because you've not mentioned any nanny or, I don't know, aunties or people who would help?
For the first 2 weeks, we had a relative come in, you know, who helped the first 2 weeks. But after that, we were on our own. Wow. You know, and we've been on our own ever since. I think we only had a house help once. I see. And she stayed for I think 6 months or something. Then after that, we've never had a house help. Wow. So
yeah, that can take a toll, eh?
Yeah, it did. It did. And I remember the period that I was really, really depressed, because I was battling with a lot. I was battling with the society, the sort of
judging
me, and their view of me. I was battling with what I'm convicted with, you know, because I felt like I was convicted that this is the right thing to do. I'm in the right path. I'm doing the right thing for my kids.
But everyone else is telling you not.
But everyone else is behaving like, man, you're a failure, man. You need to be providing out there, providing for your family.
Other people look at you as a man, as a failure. Whereas for you, you knew you're doing the right thing. How do you marry those two and deal with that?
It was tough. It was tough. It was a constant battle in my head, you know, and sometimes it will make me not even to be productive. You know, not just productive like out there searching, but productive at home and taking care of my kid, because I would sit down with myself and try and think. I will be lost in thoughts a lot of the times. But what kept me sane was the woman that I have. Okay. And this is also another very important thing, you know, the partner that you have, value them, you know, value each other, because she's the one who constantly will say she gave me a breath of life every day. She will encourage me, tell me that you don't hear about other things, what other things are saying, other people are saying. What matters is what I think about you, and what I feel for you. You are doing the right thing, you should continue doing it. You know, because she grew up with a father that was present, father that was there, and I think she knew the value. You know, so even me, despite the fact that I knew the value, I had not grown up experiencing it.
That's true.
So we met two people who knew the value, but from a different perspective. So she kept
had the same desire.
Yeah, she kept on pushing me, and that is what made me stand up to date. Even my family members, most of them were like, in fact, they're the ones. Most of them are the ones who are saying, "Jeff amekaliwa." Really? Jeff has been married, actually.
Wow.
Those are even the words that have been said.
How does that make you feel?
It has made me feel, at first it made me feel bad. It dented a little bit, it was denting a little bit with my ego and self-esteem. Yeah. But with time I rose above it.
Oh, good.
And I was like, you don't put meals in my table. You don't pay my rent. You don't even call to find out how my kids are doing. And here you are, you're saying, Jeff, I'm olewa.
You have an
Let
opinion.
me be olewed if it is going to pay my bills.
Watch on your lewe.
But I'm the one and my spouse who know what we go through, how we pay those bills, you know, and how we take care of those kids. And squeeze naona wengine wameanza kuja, hi, how are you doing? You know, because they're already seeing the fruits. It's
working for the two of you.
It's working. And that is an important thing that I also want to say and tell people, that as long as it is working for the two of you, that is what matters.
Clearly.
Because what works for somebody else will not work for you. But if what you're doing is working for you, embrace it. Live it.
So tell me, you've been sharing about your journey, like you mentioned before, on YouTube and on your blog. Instagram. Yes. And you also have a WhatsApp group.
Yes.
What are the issues that come up when other men reach out to you for help?
I get a lot of first-time fathers who are quite scared. You know, they really don't know how to go about it. They're just like, oh, I'm going to receive a baby the next month, and honestly, I'm scared.
Idea. Yeah.
I have no idea.
What?
Two, I get a lot of conflict resolution. You know, babies come and they disrupt.
It changes everything.
Yeah, they disrupt a lot of your daily lifestyle. Yeah. And so there's a lot of pressure that dads are going through in that regard. You know, and they quarrel a lot, and some even sadly end up separating. And not because they don't love each other, but just because conflict resolution is a big issue. So that is something that we talk about.
I see.
How do you need to understand your woman? And that is something that I also blog about, that after they give birth, they change. They don't remain the same.
Yeah.
You know, but they change. You need to embrace that change.
That's true.
And they also deal with certain issues that you are the only one that can encourage them to be confident in themselves. Wow. So you can embrace and play that role in their lives. And she will begin to appreciate you, because at that time she's dealing with emotions, the body has changed, things, maybe finances are also a strain, and she's experiencing a high level of pressure. So you need to come in at that time and let her know that you understand. Be in that space together.
You're very sensitive to what women feel and go through. How did you become the man you are today? Jeff? Did you go through counseling? Did you have a mentor? Because the things you're saying, most people are oblivious of.
Funny enough, I've never gone through any of those stuff.
Yeah?
I think I became intentional, like I said, and from then on, I've been reading, researching a lot. That is another thing that I will encourage. I had always encouraged men out there to read, to research a lot. And I thank again my wife. My wife will send me blogs after blogs. Actually, that is what also inspired us to start our own blog, because we didn't find an African curated blog out there for parenting, you know. It was more or less Baby Center, which are more American, you know. So
I think every mom, when you become a mom, Baby Center, and what to expect.
So
you need an African
she
one.
will send me and forward me those blogs and ensure that, have you read? Have you read? And that is also what equipped me with the information that I have, you know, up to date.
So if there are any, there could be dads watching at home or a new family, what, maybe 3 tips can you give to new parents or to dads?
Prepare for the journey.
Okay.
The journey is not going to be easy. Talk with your wife. See what do you have. Use what you have to make something out of it. 2, it is always not about money. You know, what women sometimes need is just you. Clearly. Your time. Your comfort. You know, money will come. I always tell my wife, it will come. When it comes. And whether it doesn't come, we still live in this earth and still go. But we know it will come. Always protect your family. That is your wife and your kids. Because at the end of the day, it is about the 2 of you and your family. As a man was put in this earth, that is your role. Protect them. My biggest lesson is that 1 minute, 1 second, 1 hour can change everything, can change a lot. We can be seated here and something happens that changes our lives completely. And that has been from our situation. No, we started with the situation, didn't look very well, and it has been a roller coaster, ups, downs, ups, downs. But
when you look at yourselves now,
things have changed.
That's true.
It has made us better. Whatever you go through, it always makes you a better person. So that is one of the biggest lessons that we've learned. The other one is that God gives hope. Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Give each other hope. And that is another responsibility that I think we are God-given. Give your spouse hope, let her also give you hope. And that is the only thing that you have when everything else goes.
What inspired you to come and share your story here with us today?
I think what I would like people to take away is that times have changed. We can no longer do things the way you used to do or the way our forefathers used to do. We are in a world where women are getting more empowered, and that empowerment should mean something. I was so sad that even right now we even have women who are well educated and have gone to school. There's a reason that was done, but they still feel like I just need to be there, you know, not do anything for myself. Have dreams. Go for those dreams. And men, support these women, because our society is better with empowered women. Before, we only had 1 provider, but right now the world is giving us the opportunity to have 2 providers.
That's true.
Which will make the lives of our kids and families better.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, your wisdom, your nuggets. Asante sana.
Karibu,
We wish you and your family all the best.
Karibu.
Thank you for inspiring fathers and families at home. I know I have been inspired. I hope he's spoken to you. Maybe you can tell them how they can reach you. Where can they find you? You can find me on Instagram at Present Fatherhood. We use pictures and videos to just pass the same message of present fatherhood and demystifying gender roles. You can also find me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube as well, just to share my work. Fantastic. If they want to reach out to you, you know where he is now. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to you and to all fathers at home. We are all better because you're here. We wish you all a lovely week. God bless you. Good night. Special thanks to our location here at Radisson in Arboretum. Until next week, goodbye and God bless.